I'm ending my takeaway countdown talking about the very thing that pulled me into reading this book in the first place. Most of my life, I did not speak loudly. I would get comments all the time to speak up or people couldn't hear me. I eventually got this book because when I started facilitating at work, these comments were more and more frequent. I felt like Cara read me down in the vocal skills chapter of the credibility code. She said that how loudly you speak is often an indicator of how comfortable you feel. The more comfortable you feel, the louder you tend to be. Now, this may seem like common sense to you, but I had to realize that it wasn't that I just had a soft voice, but it was also that I was extremely nervous and felt a lot of imposter syndrome when I first started in my career of facilitating. So being able to acknowledge that was the first step for me. Now, luckily, Cara says that this is the easiest skill to work on, as it's about your ability to speak louder and your willingness to speak louder. So for those of you that was like me, it's going to be okay. The thing is that when you speak, you should want to sound self-assured and confident. But when you speak too softly, you'll come across as weak and soft. So many times when people are struggling with this, their internal meter is off because they don't realistically know what volume they are at. You think you're talking loud or even yelling, which is why you're not willing to talk louder, but you're far from it. Cara even talks about how 1 out of 5 people in her workshops are soft speakers, while 1 out of 200 are loud speakers. So this shows how little of a problem speaking too loud is in comparison to speaking too quietly. It also means that this type of skill will definitely require getting feedback from others on how to best recognize your volume. You have to work on not being afraid of sounding louder, or for some, messing up at a volume at where people can hear you. Use your diaphragm and practice building strength in your diaphragm so that speaking louder won't feel like so much of a challenge. She has some great exercises in her book, but I really saw the value of asking coworkers to give me feedback after meetings of how well they could hear me so that I could start building a better perspective of my own volume. Now, do I still struggle with this at times? Yes, but I've gotten a lot better, and now I can adjust my volume the moment I sense it's off and stay at that level.